Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of the Paris 13 Atletico Save, where we look to do it better than PSG. And today, in the non-league to legend French edition, we have the Trophie Des Champions, where we played PSG as they won the league and we won the cup for the first time in our history. Since we last met, last episode is actually still being filmed. If you watched last episode, it has overlapped into this one. We are obviously in the middle, as of right now, of the transfer special, trying to find that one world-class player, which you will not see in this episode if we do sign, but you might see post, but you know what I mean. It might come on deadline day or if we sign anyone at all. In saying that though, in this episode we're going to recap pre-season, go into this game. Instead of giving the open day of the season, may as well give you our first ever game in what is effectively the French Community Shield. And then see, for the first time in the save, if we beat PSG. We have of course drew to them once, and I know we haven't beaten them, and I know we always end up playing an aggressive 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 that's possession based. I've made a change for this season for big games. We're going to start there. And that is, we've come up with a different tactic for bigger games of football. And I did try it out in one of our pre-season games against not a bigger side, but a side that was happy to come play me, but is still quite big in comparison. It is a system that is definitely more set on being a balanced mid-block, which is something similar to what I used in the beta save at Brighton, but still featuring, what we're good at and what we can do. With that being said, it's a balanced mentality to start on, moving into cautious if we have less of the ball, or moving into the possession base if we're dominating, and then it is standard at a much higher tempo, fairly wide, passing into space, work the ball into the box when the opportunity arises, but more notably, unlike in the 4-2-3-1 here, we've got an advanced forward of inside forwards and advanced playmakers, etc., and more creative. Here, it's wing-backs on defend, centre-backs on defend, goalkeepers on defend, ball-winning midfielder, box-to-box with a centre mid on support, being really working with Mike. Two wingers staying wide and high, looking to burn people, and a pressing forward to create some havoc. I will actually move this to fullback on defend on this side here. Main reason is Mendy wants to play as a fullback to keep him happy, and he is making his debut today. In terms of the system, we will regroup into shape, which is actually something we do in our normal 4-3-3. We'll counter when we win the ball because it is a more direct system, but telling our keeper, do what you feel like, don't do anything crazy. If you want to go long, go long. If you want to go short, go short. And then we're pressing by getting stuck in, mid-block, standard, trapping outside, stopping crosses, just making ourselves as compact, limiting spacing behind, and making us harder to break down, which hopefully the 7 at the back in Mbappe can't do against us today. In terms of transfers at the moment, you guys, if you didn't watch the last episode, for now, the only thing I've got to report is we signed Mendy on a free to come the backup left back because we did sell long yellow at the end of the year last year. We did sell a long yellow for 3.5 mil. And then obviously this season I have also sold a Yesba for 16 mil to Real San Sebastian, one of the teams we did play. 10 mil up front. He's a good player. Got to miss him. And then obviously Diop for 8 mil, 9 mil. 0.5 to Wolves, and the one that maybe we might regret tossing because he is still fairly decent. We don't play a non-nonsense centre-back, so he's never actually really good for the level, but he could have been a very good fourth choice, and we actually don't have a centre-back, a fourth choice, out-and-out fourth choice centre-back in the club, but we still have Kana and Yuri, who one of them starts, the other one doesn't, but they can both play centre-back when needed. Now, with that being said, pre-season has gone really well. If you have a look at it, the 4-3 has done really well, but the one game that we're interested in is the match on TV, where we actually played Real San Sebastian. Our former player in Yesba went forward, did get an assist against us, but we played this 4-3-3 in the more aggressive system with Bakayoko on the left and Dossio on the right, with Makoko as a pressing forward, and we had 29 shots, 17 on target, an XG of over 4, and we won 4-1. Very, very good, very happy to see that. So with that being said, hoping for more of the same. In terms of the team for today's game against PSG, it is fairly straightforward. Diallo is playing his first game since that amazing loan spell from Bordeaux. With that as well, we've got Inguez and Isaias, Kana, Melbalai. Actually tempted to maybe make a change in this system. Knowing that Inguez is really good in there, he's also a very good ball-winning midfielder on defend. I'm actually tempted to go with that. Kana into the box-to-box, and actually getting Inguez out to there and getting in Zeno as the centre-back. And the main reason you might be thinking, why that, Damien? Mainly because if we do that, we can go to 2 fullbacks on defend, we can get Inguez in a position where he's natural, We can get Isaias into a role which is his best role, and it allows also a box-to-box midfielder of Marco Canna, who, to be fair, when he does play in this role, he is not a bad box-to-box midfielder. If you have a look, he can kind of do it all and tackle and look to get up and down and be very good. So with that being said, we are going to go into a bit more of a workman-like side that's less expressive, but will still look to go and keep shape. And look, I doubt it's going to happen, but if we start dominating PSG, we are definitely looking to switch back into the normal 4-3-3. With that being said, it's Areola, Iguez, Diallo, Zeno, and Mendy, Isaias, Canna, and Raviella. Dosu on the right with Bakayoko on the left because I'm playing wingers, just getting him to run at people and get in the box. With Mokoku playing as a pressing forward. On the bench, you've got Bessett, Stern, Salama, Melbalai, very creative few midfielders there. You've also got Yuri as a defensive sub and a centre-back sub. You've also got Milos Stupa, who, to be fair, is my breakout prospect for this season. The guy has developed quite amazingly. It's already got a current ability change up there as well, which if you have a look at, he's already gone up to a League 2 level and he's only 18. With that being said, I could see where this guy's pushing for first team minutes by the end of this season. Regular first team minutes, that is. And then lastly, we've got Collie on the bench. I've also decided Areola instead of Kim. I don't want to wreck Kim's current good growth with this, with this lack of form or lack of, this game here. Started using both feet more. Because he's got a reasonable good foot and lasted months, and he's now suddenly a leading League 2 player. He's going to be a very good keeper. I do feel that as well. And then Cicelo is obviously out suspended and Coman's not 100% fit to make the bench. Let's go out there and see what we can do here against PSG. Ferland Mendy getting his start. He's an important player, a regular starter, so he's happy with that. I wonder if they're going to come full strength or if they're going to rotate. I'll be interested to see what PSG do here for the Trophie Des Champions. And then, obviously, in terms of next episode, Champions League phase draw, and then obviously a Champions League game of some sort. They got Vladimir, who's their backup keeper in goals, Capolo, Eric Garcia, Kimpembe, so they've gone fairly full strength. Pavard at right back, who is starting to get a bit slower, and that's why I'm playing wing backs, because if they're 7 at the back, wing backs want to pull them on. I'm going to keep my wingers high and get at them. On top of that, they've also got Janil, who they've just signed as a squad player, Nuno Mendes, who's fantastic, Kylian Mbappe, Fabio Mendes, the 2 best players in the league, and a Kafora up top. Still got Samuelino, Calvin Phillips, Razmez, who's been upset at PSG, but looks like he's staying now, and Donnarumma on the bench, and Carboni as well. So they're a very fantastic side, as we know. We've never beaten PSG. Let's see what we can do, and hopefully we can see if we can get at them in this new 4-3-3 system. And look, this might be a game we suffer without the ball and they don't break us down. The last few times we've played them, even with having a better squad, we have struggled. Hopefully today is one of those games where we sit in here and this gives us a little bit of of an understanding that maybe this is a better system to play in these smaller games, or these bigger games, sorry. Anyhow, Mendy picks up the ball. Ferland Mendy takes a touch into Canna. Bakayoko now drives, looks for Mokoku in space, and this is what the system's all about. Mokoku can hit, and he hits the post, and we're that close to a lead against PSG in the Trophie Des Champions. Would have been nice. It wasn't. As you can see, this system is just very, very focused on get balls in and around the box, be quick, get shots away. 7 shots, 4 on target. Even though we haven't had any of the ball, this system is dynamite in transition. And that's what I want it to be. In these bigger games where we struggle for the ball and struggle to dominate, we just need to be strong. As Pavard hits, and that's going to be deflected over for a corner, it's a good sign. 20 minutes in, if this is what the new 4-3-3 will play in the big games, against the weak oppositions, we're still going to see a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 that we've been traditionally playing. Champions League, bigger matches, you name it. If we can play this system away from home in the knockout stage of the Champions League, play the system, it's going to be this. We're going to be happy. And hopefully, it's a sign of things to come. Coppola finds Eric, finds Ricky, and we've obviously limited some space, but Mbappe's still quick and away, and Mbappe with a chance, and well, there's the difference. And it's Mokoku missed his, but Mbappe scores his, and we're 1-0 down. World-class striker versus world-class striker right there. Different day, Mokoku scores, and we're the team that's 1-0 up. Instead, it's not, and you can't really stop this. No matter how many wing-backs on defence you had and how limited space, when Mbappe makes that run from wide, you just can't catch him. Areola's beat, and we are 1-0 down with their first shot on target, which is annoying, but at the same stage, it does happen. It's understandable. 40 minutes played, still 1-0 down, but the system's doing its job. It's getting me to a period where we can go for it or look to change or anything like that. Got to tick away here in the second half. Not really looking to make a change either. Possession's kind of been even. I'm actually going to move us into caution, try and get a couple more men behind the ball and really hit him on the break as well. With that too, I'm actually going to move Mokoku into his natural role as an advance forward, trying to be more aggressive and see how that goes there. Set piece, but this is probably their highlight with Mbappe, and Areola spills it to Eric Garcia. Areola, who he convinced to come out of retirement, has not done himself in glory there. It's a mistake from our keeper. We're 2-0 down. In a game that this is probably the best game we've given PSG in modern times. It's an Areola mistake that gives him a 2-0 lead. With that being said, I am going to move into the normal 4-3-3, see if something changes here. I am going to get Zeno off and Guez into there. Isaias into there. I'm going to get Melbalai on one side. Cannon's actually going to come off. I'm going to get Salama in on the other side. And I'm going to go to centre mid on attack with that as well. They've actually made it 3-0. I've just seen that. Well, I'll give Collie a start there too. Don't know how many changes I'm allowed to actually make. 2 goals in 4 minutes, 3-0 down. It's all falling apart. There were some positives, but the negative is we did not take our chance, and then PSG have taken theirs as a hit from distance. And Areola's parried it into not a great area. I think this is a game where we've seen that why Areola try to retire. Even though he's got good stats, not much he can do. PSG now starting to dominate us here. This is very, very, very upsetting. Because we've actually played decent, and we're going to get picked apart. Even though we've done nothing wrong. Switch these two around. Apparently we've got no more subs, so we'll just switch them the right way around for this system. But yeah, it's all she wrote. Unfortunate. Didn't want to get beat like this either. Like, we had a good 45 minutes. We had a very good 45 minutes. And to see this happen is just very unfortunate. They're just too strong. Anything I try does not beat them. I just wish we took a lead and held on against them. You know, in our first few games that we played PSG, first time we ever played them was in the Cup. We took a 1-0 lead, we lost 2-1 against 10 men because Mbappe went rampant when I was in League 2. First 2 times we played him in the league, in our first season in the league, with a much weaker side, we went 1-0 up in both. We went 2-0 up in one of them. We lost them all. So we'd love to see us get a lead and hold on, because it's just, I reckon we just need to beat them once and then we'll continue to beat them. It's Mourinho in this 7 at the back. It's unbeatable. Maybe we can get a goal here. And obviously, this is Diallo's first game back with us since on loan. It's not something to write home about for him. But I don't know what else you can really do. It's all crashed apart around you. Rovella, Melbalai hits one, hits the post. Dosu tries to get there. It gets cleared. He was offside. Would have been a great goal from Melbalai. Unfortunately, nothing coming. Bakayoko now going on a run. 83rd minute. 3-0 down. Would have loved to see this stay competitive. Would love a goal. A goal would make things sound a little bit better. As Melbalai has another dig which is blocked. Problem is this could be them just playing out like Barcelona and then game over like that. Or maybe not. It's left short. Salama. Melbalai is having a really good time. Fires over the bar. At least Melbalai looks up for it this year. He's come on and look good. 88 minutes played. Melbalai getting a tackle in but falls straight back to him. Wasn't our day today, I don't think. Wasn't our day. But, you know, we move. It's the Trophie Des Champions. Can't do much. We haven't been able to beat PSG. I saw enough in this 4-3-3 against Real San Sebastian, and it dominated PSG first 45, just needed a goal, and it didn't come. That we can play this bigger 4-3-3 in bigger games and see what happens. As Mbappe goes on a run, and he's just too broken, man. You can't stop him. You cannot stop him. It is annoying. We're 4-0 down now. Hoping this is not going to mess around with the board. The board want us to stay competitive. This doesn't look stats-wise. Right? Stats-wise, I don't think it's going to show us now, which is a shame. Don't need to watch them host a trophy. Unacceptable is what I will say. Stats-wise, it was competitive. They just blew us at the park. Send the assistant. They've won that trophy 13 times. Can I have a look at the stats just so I'm not going crazy? 21 shots play 16. XG of 2.6 plus 2.3. Guess who's got the XG and then scored? On a different day, does that mean it finishes 2-2? Possession even, and we lost. What did the board think of that? Be competitive. They told us we passed. The board is satisfied. Well, that's the main thing. Apparently the board is satisfied with a 4-0 loss. I could sit here and say it's 4-0, it's no good, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to sit and say we had the same amount of shots on target, similar XG with the same possession and very similar pass completion, and we lost 4-0. Everything will dictate that this game here was close, except the scoreline. And if that's how it's going to be, and that's what's going to happen, then so be it. Apparently, I can't get my match momentum. I want to have a look at the match momentum before we end the episode. PSG vs Paris 13 Atletico. There you go. We had spurts, they had a spurt, we had spurts, they had a spurt, we had spurts. Look at that. When we had our spurts, Makoko hits the post. When they had their spurts, goal because it's Mbappe. Yeah. The one time we didn't lose to PSG in recent time, or we drew, but Mbappe didn't play. I think there's a underlying outlier there that this guy is just too good on Football Manager this year. You know, his last 2 years have been slow. 45 and 40. What's going on there, mate? Bit of a joke. Anyhow, next time we see each other will be for the Champions League phase, and then, of course, the a game in the Champions League. Let's hope we get a good draw. Hopefully by that stage too, we've obviously maybe made a world-class signing, which you would have seen in the previous episode because of the overlap, or we've kept the same squad and we've got off to a very good winning start in the league. Till then, I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.